Good morning, everyone. Today, what your work is going to be is really just going to be to learn how to play a new game. So I'm going to teach you a new addition math game. And what you're going to need is you're going to need a deck of cards, but you're going to have to separate them so that you only have all the numbers 1, so the ace will be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all the numbers smaller than 5. So we're going to separate them. So now that they're separated, in my pile that I have, I only have aces, twos, threes, fours, and fives. Now, once you get more comfortable with the game and you're feeling really confident, you can add in more cards. I would keep the numbers just 1 to 10, but if you want to use the face cards too, then the king and the queen and the jack can just be worth 10 points, or the number 10. So the tricky part about this game when you're playing is that you need 3 people. And in your house, I know that you at least have one math expert because that's you. You're a math expert. But you're going to have to find 2 other math experts who know their addition facts pretty well. Now, for me, it's going to be kind of hard to explain because Ravi's here and he's learning addition, but he's still just sort of an addition grasshopper. He's not really a master yet. So when I'm explaining, you're going to have to sort of imagine what it would be like if there were 2 other people here with me. So if there were 3 of us, I first am going to shuffle a little bit so that I make sure that all the cards are mixed up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the deck equally in 2. So really 2 people are playing the game and 1 person is sort of the referee or the helper. So I have my cards split in 2 and they're going to go face down. They're going to go face down in front of me and the other person who's playing. Now the way the game works is that every turn, both people are going to take 1 card from the top and put it on their forehead without looking at it. So you won't know what your card is. You will only see what the other person's card is. So if I had Bob here with me, he would also lift the other card so that I can see it, but he doesn't see it. Now, with these 2 cards, so I have the number 3 on my head and Bob has the number 2 on my head. The third person who's playing, we'll call her Josephine. So Josephine here, who's playing with me, she can see both of our cards on our heads. And what she's going to do is she's going to tell us what they add up to. So if Josephine, who's our third player, sees that I have a 3 and that Bob has a 2 on his head, she's going to tell us the number 5 because 3 plus 2, 1, 2, equals 5. So she's going to say out loud just the word 5. When I hear her and Bob hears her say 5, we need to figure out, by looking at the other person's card, what our number is. So if Josephine said 5, and I look at Bob's card and it's the number 2, I know that 5 minus 2 equals 3. So I can say 3 really quickly. 3. And if I say my number first and that it's correct, I get to keep both of the cards. And then Bob would pick up a new card, I would pick up a new card, and we would look at it. This time, I have the number 4, and Bob has the number 3. So Josephine over here, our imaginary friend, our third person, would say the number 7, because 3 plus 4 equals 7. And remember, I only get to see what Bob's card is. So when I'm looking at the number 3, I have to figure out if it equals 7, and I know that there's a 3 in it, I think it's 4. And yep, I got it right, so I get to keep the cards. If Bob says his number first, then he gets to keep the cards. Now, you can play this all the way until you're finished both your piles, and then you could swap so that each person gets a turn being the person who calls the total, who calls what the number's equal to, and that each person gets to have a turn holding the card up and trying to figure it out and guess. So, like I said, because this needs 3 addition experts, you might not be able to play it right this second. You might have to wait a little bit until 2 other addition experts are free. And if you want, you can make the numbers smaller or you can make the numbers bigger. So I'll leave it up to you how many cards you leave in the deck. If you don't have a deck of cards, don't worry. Just grab a piece of paper and cut it into 20 different pieces and write the number 1 4 times, the number 2 4 times, the number 3 4 times, and the number 4 4 times, and the number 5 4 times. So you'll write on 20 pieces of paper, you'll write each number 4 times, And then you basically have your own deck of cards that you can play with. I hope it's fun. I know I just said bye, but I'm back now because while I was editing the video, I noticed two things that I forgot to tell you. The first one was that on the board behind me, I accidentally wrote the wrong date. I wrote Monday, June 9th instead of Monday, June 8th. So ignore that and forgive me, please. The second thing I want to tell you is that the game that you're going to play, you can play and you don't need to send anything back to me. But what I do want you to send back to me is I want you to write as many equations as you can using the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. That, so here's the important part, that you can solve only using mental math. So only using math that you use in your head. So I want you to try not to use a hundreds chart or a number line. You can use your fingers if you really, really have to, but try to write equations that you know the answer to just by thinking and doing it in your head. Now, bye for real.